ask you this. How is y'all semester going so far? I mean, we're in our second week. Any crazy stuff?
I've got my chemistry lab later this afternoon.
You got your chemistry lab what?
My first chem lab, our first in-person chem lab is this afternoon.
Good luck with that. Boy, I hated chem. God, I hated that. And I was in civil engineering. I had to take like 5 classes of everything. I had to take ceramics. I had to take chemistry. I had to take 2 electricity classes. I had to take physics all the way through 3. I hated chemistry. I despised it. So more power to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 4 is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Looks like I still got one person not on video, but maybe they'll come on eventually. Let me check it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There we go. Thank you. Was it you, Mr. Pagella?
Ooh, that was missing?
Yeah. What are you hiding, man? You trying to hide something?
Well, I'm trying to talk to you through my computer, but it's not letting me, so I got to connect on my phone.
Okay, well, you need to call the help desk. Maybe they can help you out there.
Yeah.
All right. P of x is equal to 5 sine 2x minus pi over 3 plus 2. And I know some of y'all saw this on the homework and you probably skipped it, right? Nobody skipped it. Y'all lie. Y'all know y'all skipped it. Said I'll just go back to it later. Well, I'm going to send you something and you can get it and print it out while you're looking at it, but I made it up for you. You're welcome. And maybe it'll help you out when you do this type problem. I know Miss Martinez will be grateful. Let's see. Let's go with handouts. Okay, I'm fixing to load it up and I'm going to send it to you, okay? It's called trig wave. Okay? And it's loading. And I'm sending it. Somebody tell me if you got it.
I see it.
I just need somebody to tell me you got it. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you open it, it's going to look like this, of course. I'll show it to you. Well, there it is. There it is. That might help you a little bit because I know you forgot it from trig. Is this something that you need to know to pass calculus? No, because your calculator is going to do it for you. But this is something that, you know, you might want to write down, and it gives you everything right here. So you're welcome for that. Okay? So with that being said, let's get back to the problem. Now, is this one in the form that you need it in? Not exactly. It's not exactly in that form. Because the form that you want it in, I'll write it in red. And it should be y is equal to a sine theta, or I'm sorry, b times theta minus c plus d. Now that's what it needs to be in. So we've got to factor something out right here. We got that. This is not the way it needs to be, and you got that. Everybody with me? So you got to do something. You got to do some manipulation right here to get this to look like this. So you got to factor out a 2. So I'm going to factor that 2 out. P of x is equal to 5 sine of 2, and that's going to leave x minus pi over 6 plus 2. Now you got everything you need. Let's kind of put a cloud around this because this is what you need. Now, did somebody in this room send me this question? Can somebody volunteer that they sent this question to me or one like it? Anybody? Somebody? Most of the time, the problem is not with the algebra. The problem is with the graph on MyLab's math. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Sometimes the problem with the question, the student can do this right here, but they can't do the graph that's on the MyLabs Plus. Why am I telling you this? Because I really don't care about whether you can graph using the MyLabs math graph. I care that you can understand what I just did here and what I'm going to do right here, and if you can do it on your calculator. Does that make sense? I want you to be able to graph it on your calculator, be able to algebraically manipulate to get it in this form, and tell me what you have after you get it in this form. Capiche? So if I test you on one of these, which is very improbable, I just want you to tell me about this and graph it on your calculator. All right, so here we go. What do we got? Well, we got this guy in yellow. We got this guy right there. We got this guy right there. And then we got this guy right there. Now, can anybody tell me any of those highlighted areas what we have? Anybody? I mean, all you gotta do is look at your sheet that I just gave you. Let's start with the first letter of the alphabet, A. What does A stand for?
The amplitude.
The amplitude.
Amplitude.
Amplitude is how far you are away from the x-axis. Okay? It's how skinny, how tall your wave is. So amplitude is equal to 5. What does the 2 give us? It doesn't give us the exact, but we use it. What is it called?
Period.
It's called the period. Period is between the 2 vertexes of a wave. Period. And that's 2 pi over b. And I'm going to highlight that b right here. And that gives you 2 pi over 2, which is equal to pi. So there's the measurement between the 2 vertexes of your wave is pi, 3.14. Now, of course, on a wave, that's like your unit circle, pi is 180 degrees. What's this guy? Your horizontal what? It's connected to the x. Horizontal what? That means I want somebody to say something. Shift. So pink is your horizontal shift or your phase shift. So pi over 6, negative pi over 6 is our phase shift, and that's, of course, to the left. And then if this is the horizontal shift, what is this guy?
The vertical shift.
And that's 2 up. Now, what do you mean 2 up? I thought the amplitude. The amplitude is how your wave stretches, the height of your wave. The vertical and horizontal shift is where it starts from, like 0, 0. If it starts from 0, 0, you're going to move it 1 place, or pi over 6 to the right, and you're going to move the origin 2 up. And that's what you need to be able to graph it on your MyLabs math. Now, I can guarantee you some of y'all forgot this. Now, be for real. Some of y'all forgot this. So
A little
hopefully
bit,
that
but it came
worksheet I
back.
sent you will help. Mr. Austin, I saw that. What do you got in that bottle, man? You ain't got anything bad in that bottle, do you? Mr. Austin ain't even listening. All right.
I'm drinking water.
Okay, good, man, good. Hydrate. There you go. All right, who's got a question on that one? Okay. Now, I want you to be able, again, I'm going to make this red. I want you to be able to go from there to there, and I want you to be able to tell me all of this, and I want you to graph it on your calculator. Let's do it on the calculator. All right? Here we go. What is my parent graph? My parent graph is going to be sine of x. So sine of x. Let me clear, because the delete button on these new calculators is not very user-friendly. Sine of x, close parentheses. And we're going to do that in black. Why black? Because that's the basic model. Basic model. Where is, I guess, dark gray? Is that? Yeah, there we go, black. Okay, and I'm going to even make it, let's make it a dashed line. There we go. And enter. And now we're going to type in, as pink, we're going to type in, let's see, let's go with 5 sine of x. 5, let me clear it. 5 sine of x. Y'all with me? Let's do a times right there, just in case. Second insert times. There we go. I hate these calculators. 5 times there. And then the next one, we're going to do that color. Let's pick a color. Let's pick all right, green. And let's not make that one dash. Let's make that one, let's just make it a regular line. Let's make that top one a regular one also. Oh, me, oh my. There we go. Now, what else can we do? Well, we can do that 2 and do the phase shift. So let's go down to the green and let's do 5 times the sine. Well, that'd be 2. 5 times the sine. I'm thinking out loud. Sine of 2 parentheses x minus pi over 6 second pi divided by 6, close parenthesis, close parenthesis. And then the last one we'll leave as orange, and we'll make, well, since it's the last one, let's make it thick line. Let's just leave it thick line. And this is going to be 5 times the sine parenthesis 2, well, 2 parenthesis x minus pi over 6 second pi divided by 6, close parenthesis, plus 2. Everybody see the differences between the four? And graph. And that looks absolutely not. What mode am I in? Let me put it in radian, sorry. I suck. Well, it's going a little bit too fast, but you need to do it 2 or 3 times so you can see it. I wish I could slow it down. Can you slow it down? I don't know if you can or not, can you? Hold on just a second. Be working with it. See if you can slow it down. Okay. Is there a way you can slow it down? Anybody? Let me see if I hit enter. Well, I can't. Okay. Well, forget it. I'm not gonna clear everything. But you can see there's the dotted, there's the sine wave. And then the pink, what did we do with the pink? We multiplied it by 5. That's the amplitude. And that's when you see it start to stretch from the black to the and it's stretched like up this way. That is not a vertical shift. I need you to understand that, people. The vertical shift is not the amplitude. Okay? And then the period changed. See, the magenta to the green, it kind of squeezed in a little bit because the period, we put the period in, and then of course the phase shift and the vertical shift. So your final answer is the orange. Final answer is the orange. Okay. Now, does that help everybody? Did anybody have that question on the homework, or does that help knock some cobwebs loose? All right, I'm going to give y'all a problem to work on right now. And I saw this one. This one was one that was sent a lot. And this is not a test question. Rewrite this problem. This is not a test question. Sine of 2 inverse cosine of 9x. Okay, write that down, and they want you to rewrite it without using the trigonometric functions. And the hint is use the double. I'll find it for you. Hold on a minute. I'll find the question. I don't know if it'll be the same. Hold on just a minute. I'm trying to find it.
I have a question about the last question.
Yeah.
So when you go to graphic on the calculator, all the lines are black, and like it's kind of hard to tell which one would be the right one. I know you showed us, but I'm just saying, like, if we do it on a test, you know.
The only thing I'm going to want you to do on a test is this one. I'm going to delete this one. Well, only thing I care about, clear, is I was just showing you what's happening. There you go. That's what I would want you to be able to do.
Okay.
The parent graph is the dashed, and then that's what's happened. You got a horizontal shift to the, what was it? I didn't.
It was negative pi over 6.
Yes. Pi over shift to the right and 2 up. And that's why it's gone. It's up 2. And then if you count, 5 plus 2 is 7. So this mark right here should be 7. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because the magnitude is 5, which is your stretch, and you got a vertical shift of 2. 5 plus 2 is what? 7. So that's why this number right here is 7. Does that help?
Yeah.
I just want you to be able to algebraically, and I'll show you this again. I want you to be able to go from here to here, and then give me all of this, and then graph it on the calculator so you can match it up to the A, B, or C on a test if I give you one like this. I'll give you one like this before I'll give you this, because to me, this problem right here is out of its element. That problem right there is out of its element. It doesn't need to be in this homework. Okay? And I'm going to try to find that for you. Is everybody good on that, going over what I just went over for Mr. Pagella? Pagella, 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 tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato. Okay, I can't get rid of the black thing. Why won't it go away? There it goes. All right, let me get rid of this question. Where is this question? Is it 90? Let's see if this is it. No, that's not it. In fact, that one's okay. Oh, 1.4. Here we go. 1.4. Let's see if it's number 65. Yeah, there it is. I think this is it. Yeah. And they say you got to use the double angle. Sine of 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. And that's the only hint they give you. I'm going to give you a chance to write that down. Let me make it bigger. There you go. Now, I'm doing this one because it's a homework question, but it's not a test question. Okay, so here we go. This right here is basically theta, okay, because you got 2 theta. So this right here is theta. Sine of 2 theta sine of 2 theta. Everybody see this? So the yellow part is theta. So if this is theta, you can then stick that in here. And you will get 2 sine, parentheses, cosine, -1, 9x, times cosine of cosine -1, 9x. Everybody see that? See it a little bit better now? If you highlight that right there and say that's theta, then it looks a little bit better when you do this. 2 sine theta, cosine theta. And you need to concentrate on getting this to look like a sine, because that cosine and that cosine, inverse cosine, cancel each other pretty much. So you got to turn that or something, turn this into something sine. Well, that's easy because you can do that is equal to 2 sine, and this turns into the square root of 1 squared minus 9x squared cosine of the inverse cosine 9x. And then this turns into 2 sine of the square root of 1 minus 81x squared cosine -1 of 9x. And now they basically cancel. And you get 2 times the square root of 1 minus 81x squared times 9x, which is 18x square root of 1 minus 81x squared. Now, I'll tell you right now, on my test, you will not see this because this is an identity question. And I could see giving you this before a Calc 2 review, on a Calc 2 review test, because you do a lot of identities in Calc 2. But this one is way out of context for this test. Does that help? Did anybody send that question? Does that help anybody? Okay, thank you, Mr. Nicolini. I appreciate the affirmation. Thank you. The rest of y'all are winged on a pickle. Suck. You suck. All right. I believe I saw a little bit of a smile there. Just a little bit. No, not a little bit. Y'all are just determined to be winged on a pickle, aren't you? Miss Martinez, you're not winged on a pickle, are you? Good. I didn't think so. Some of y'all just have the resting bitch face. It's not very becoming. Okay. All right. Everybody good with that one? Now, you can use that with the different numbers, but it's the same concept. Okay. And, of course, they say match it up. Well, matching it up is pretty simple because you're talking about cosine. Cosine is equal to, Oscar had a hunk. So this is A right here, and this is hypotenuse. So those two are going to add up, and that's going to be 1 and 9x, because this is 9x over 1. So, and that's going to be A. So that would be your triangle. Out of place, 100% out of place. Now there is a 1.4 question that's not out of place, and that's this one. Let's see. This one right here, you should be, let's see, I think it's 106. Is Mr. Hummering in here? Yeah, no, that's all. These are all section 3, but I'll just answer whatever. I think this is the one that was sent the most. No, I just went over that one. Let's go with this one. Is this one a test question? Oh, hell to the yeah. This one is a test question. Why would this one be a test question? Can anybody, why would I pick this one to be a test question?
Because it's some we've learned in trig, and it's some we're gonna have to learn in calculus.
It's basic trig, yes. It's basic trig. So go ahead and go to it. And if you can't do it, we'll just write you up as a failure in life. Go along with your weaned on a pickle status. This person was not only weaned on a pickle, this person was a failure in life. A.K. Pagella.
Oh yeah, I'm proud of
Mr.
it.
Pagella has a T-shirt that says, "I am a failure." Mr. Pagella, are we ever going to make any of these people smile?
I think you have for some of them.
Well, yeah, but they're trying to hide it. I mean, it's just real bad. I mean, why do you want to hide smiling? Smiling, do you know it takes less, muscles to smile than it does to have a resting bitch face?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll shut up. Cosine of theta is equal to negative 24 over 25. Now, if you had me for trig, you know the first question you ask about any question in trig, where I is. Okay, where are you? All right, this one says you got to be in quadrant what?
3.
In quadrant 3. So we're going to take our handy dandy. All students take calculus. And if you didn't learn this in your trig class, then you didn't have a good trig teacher. Okay, all students take calculus. All are positive here. What's positive in the second quadrant?
The Y.
Starts with S.
Sine.
Sine and the what? What's the reciprocal of the sine?
Cosecant.
Okay, what's positive in the third quadrant?
Tangent.
Tangent and the
Cotangent.
cotangent. And then what's positive in the fourth quadrant?
Cosine and cosecant.
Secant. Everybody in this class should have said, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Now, this one, what is the cosine? Cosine is equal to Oscar had a what? A hump. It's got to be in the third quadrant. So you know, let me use a bright yellow. Here's the adjacent. And blue is the hypotenuse. So I know that blue is 25, and that yellow is negative 24. Now, somebody tell me why I knew that. How did I know that?
You got adjacent over hypotenuse from cosine.
And why did I know the negative went with the adjacent? Because the hypotenuse is always,
The longest side.
and it's always P O S.
Positive.
Positive.
Thank you. The hypotenuse is always positive. So what can you do now? Somebody tell me what you can do now. Now let me get a green marker. What can you do now? And not even use a trigonometric function. What can you do now?
Find the opposite side.
Find the opposite side, Mr. Nicolini. Thank you for the communication. Thank you. Using what? What do we use to find the third side in trigonometry?
Pythagorean theorem.
Pythagorean theorem. Thank you, Mr. Lowry. Pythagorean. Why do I write it like that? Because I do not want you coming out of my class butchering a theorem's name. Okay? I don't want you coming out of my class sounding like Billy Bob Redneck. Pythagorean. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So A squared, we'll call negative 24. Negative 24 squared plus B squared is equal to 25 squared. B squared is equal to 25 squared minus a negative 24 squared. B is equal to the square root of 25 squared minus 24 squared. That 24 is going to do away with that minus anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And B is equal to the square root of 225 minus, or is it 25 times 25 is 625, isn't it? I can't ever remember. Is it 625 minus something 24? That's 256. No, I can't. No, 355 something. What is 24 squared?
It's 576.
There we go. And what is that? 49.
Yeah.
So square root 49. So our green answer is 7. Why did I put a negative in front of it? Because it goes down, Hubert. That's right. Now what do we need to do? Well, Oscar had a hunk of apple. There you go. Finish it out. You already got the cosine. You don't need the cosine. Cosine is negative 24 over 25. So sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, cotangent, secant, and cotangent. So opposite is negative 7 over negative 24. Negative 7 over negative 24, which is positive 7 over 24. So the sine is equal to 7 over 24. the tangent is equal to opposites -7/25. Now I'm only going to highlight those two because I ain't got enough room to do the rest, and most of y'all can flip. Most of y'all can flip a fraction, so I'm not really worried about you being able to do that. Hold on a second. There you go.
Is the hypotenuse not positive 25?
I'm sorry, what?
Is the hypotenuse, is it not positive 25?
Yeah.
So for sine, it wouldn't be -7/25?
Oh, my bad. I don't know why I did that. -7/25 be negative. Thank you. I don't know why I did that. I did -7/24. Okay, I don't know why I did that. I suck. Who was that? Who was that? Pick that out. Thank you. Who was that?
It was me. It was Jake.
Thank you, Mr. Nicolini. Okay, any questions? This is a test question because this is basic trig. Question. All right, I'd like to move over a little bit and start on the derivatives and show you what kind of test questions I'm going to ask for 3.1 and 3.2. And that'll give us a couple of days before y'all's first test, because today is Wednesday. And so here we go. Let me get rid of this. Go to your homework. And where is your homework? Dadgum, something done happened to it. Damn Russians. Hold on a second.
Professor Hager.
Say again, what?
I have to go pick up my sister from school, but all of those homeworks are due tonight, correct?
Whatever it says, I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it. I'll look at it and I'll extend if I need to. Who is that, Miss Brown?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So I will adjust that if I need to. I'm not going to make you try to do all this homework tonight if I've just now gone over it. So I'll fix it. I need y'all to remind me before I leave. If you're the last one out of the room, you need to remind me. Okay. Course tools, or let's just go to assignments. Let me see what the dates do say. Yep. And 3.1 and 3.2, they should be Friday, because Friday we need to have this finished. We'll have everything finished. Okay, 3.1. Let me find a good test question. Okay, this is a good test question, but I don't do all of this, okay? I want you to take this question and do the difference quotient with it. I'm going to make it a test question. This is the kind of question you'll see on my test from 3.1. It will say f of x is equal to 4x squared minus 9x plus 5, and I'm going to tell you to use the difference quotient and the limit to find the derivative. Okay, so let's get to that and go here. Use the difference quotient and limits h approaches 0 to find the derivative. Because I'm going to show you something I learned in the war. You take the handy dandy geospace. And you take the dang old file, open. And let's go with derivatives. Derivatives. Where's derivatives? Define derivatives. Okay. If I give you a point here, and I give you another point right there, and I give you a secant line right there, and I tell you I want you to turn that secant line into a tangent line. Hold on just a second. Where is h is equal to 0? Well, that's not what I wanted, but and a tangent, is it all the way out? Yeah. And hold on a second. I'm trying. It's not helping me out. Okay, wait a minute. That's not what I want. Let me reset it. Okay, there's my Q. And then I'll draw a line between P and Q. That's your secant line. And then X plus H. There we go. And then I let H equal 0. Does everybody see that? It's very important that you understand what we're doing here. The limit theory right here is saying, this is actually called the Squeeze Theorem, so you might want to write that in your notes. As H approaches 0, what are these two doing? They're approaching 0 also. That's called the Squeeze Theorem. And the secant line is turning into a what? Starts with a T.
Tangent line.
Tangent line. And the distance between X and X plus H is the width of your hair. Think of the width of one hair. Actually, you can divide that hair into 100. That's the width between X and X plus H. Does everybody see that? That's what we're doing when we find the derivative. And here is the derivative right there. And we've already done this. That's the difference quotient. And there we go. Any questions on what we're actually doing? That's what we're doing. You're welcome. So, we're going to take, I don't know why it just did that. And this is a test question. So the first thing we're going to do is put this to the difference quotient. So difference quotient, I'm going to write it down for you again so you don't forget it. Slope is equal to f of x plus h minus, y'all remember me putting the red negative? Why is the negative red? Because it will mess up your life if you don't remember it. All over h. And that's this part right here we're doing. We're doing this part right here right now. Part 1. So this is part 1. Now, again, I'm reiterating what you're doing right now. What we're doing on this page is calculus. It's the mixture of algebra with limits and that is called calculus. So M is equal to, I got to rewrite with a big set of parentheses, 4 times a big set of parentheses minus a big set of parentheses plus 5 minus brackets 4x squared minus 9x plus 5 all over h. And what are we going to plug into the green parentheses?
X plus H.
Okay, and I want everybody, I'm going to do it in orange. I know it's going to clash, but I want everybody to see it. Now get to work with your algebra. I'm going to give you a minute. Everybody get to work. Mr. Pagella, you can just sit and wait on everybody. Well, we know you can't do it.
Oh, okay.
See, if I have y'all next, no, I have y'all next semester because I don't teach at the Pendleton campus, and you're only supposed to teach second calculus and third calculus at the Pendleton campus.
I wish you did teach second calculus.
Well, all I tell you is watch Rate My Professor, and if you have to, take it at Greenville Tech or Anderson University or Clemson, because there's only one, there's maybe 1 or 2 teachers that actually teach it that's decent.
Yeah.
And Rate My Professor, there isn't any gray area on those 4 teachers. There's 4 teachers that teach at the Pendleton campus. 2 of them, Rate My Professor says, okay. 2 of them says, get the hell out. You better get the hell out and take it somewhere else if you get those 2.
Yeah, I signed up for it, but they haven't announced the instructor yet.
They will about a week before classes start. Okay, so that's going to give us shortcut number 1. So that's going to be 4. And I'm going to skip a step here. X squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared. Y'all check my math, check my algebra. Minus 9x minus 9h plus 5. Y'all check my algebra on the green part. And this is just going to be negative, positive, negative. And that's going to be 4x squared, 9x, and 5. All over h. Somebody check my green part. Is it okay? Yeah, Hubert. No, Hubert. I don't have any idea, Hubert.
Yeah, you're good.
We're not going to talk to you, Hubert. Go ahead. What?
You're good. You got it.
Thank you, Mr. Lowry. Your mama told you to talk in my class, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Your mama's not weaned on a pickle like some of these other people are.
No, she's not.
All right. How's your brother doing? How's he doing? He had my math class a couple of semesters ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's like a mechanic now, so
Oh,
he's not doing the.
mechanicing? Where's he taking that at?
Well, he tried to go to the like the cars school or whatever that is in like Charlotte or North Carolina or something, but he didn't do that either. So he's still trying to figure things out, but he's doing good though.
Okay. Yeah, I did that. I went in the Marine Corps. When I was trying to figure things out, I went and got shot at. No, I'm just kidding. I, that's just the way I did things.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a terrorist. All right, m is equal to, I'm just going to write everything out in black now. So that's going to be 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared minus 9x minus 9h plus 5 minus 4x squared plus 9x minus 5 all over h. And now it's time for the red pen. And the red pen cancels. 4x squared cancels. 9x cancels. 5 cancels. And most of the time you're left with h terms. Now, every once in a while you might have a non-h term. I mean, it's not 100% of the time, but most of the time, about 80% of the time, most of your non-x terms will cancel. 20%, sometimes you're left with a non-h term, and that's okay. But just make sure you don't have any careless mistakes. All right, I'm going to try to rewrite this last part in here. So m is equal, I'm going to factor out a h right here. H, that leaves you with 8x plus 4h minus 9 over h. And that's what we were doing in the review section and way back in the review. Okay, we were doing the algebra. Now we got this, but we're not finished. Now we're going to add the what? The limit, part 2. We're going to add the limit. We're going to do that on the next page. So this is part 1. Okay, part 2. This is what part 2 looks like. Limit as h approaches infinity. I'm sorry, 0. Wrong calculus. As h approaches 0, sometimes you'll hear me say infinity, but this is Calc 1. We're going to be doing 0. Of 8x plus 4h minus 9. Now, if you've done the Chapter 2 homework, you know that when you're given a h is going to 0, what can you actually do with that 0 wherever there's an h? Plug it in, right? So 8x plus 4 times 0 is minus 9. And the red pen cancels that out because 4 times 0 is 0. And 8x minus 9 is our derivative. Which means it is the equation for the slope, and it's very important that you write this down. It is the equation for the slope of the tangent line at any point in space. And that is, and I'm going to write, watch how I write it, f prime of x. And congratulations, you have just done your first calculus problem. Part 1, difference quotient, algebra. Part 2, Apply the limit theory. Algebra plus the limit theory is equal to the derivative. All right, let's do a nerd. Well, I tell you what, before we do another one, let me show you where the actual calculus comes in with this problem. Now, in chapter 2, we're going to cut this out. I know that makes you cry, but we're going to cut this out in chapter 2. And we're just going to do this. Watch this now. F of x is equal to 4x squared minus 9x plus 5. 2 times 4 is 8. X, 2 minus 1 minus, this is 1 minus 1, so that's going to be 1 times 9 is 9. X to the 1 minus 1, that's x to the 0. And plus 5. X to the 0 and 0 times that cancels. So you're left with 8x minus what?
Minus 9.
This is algebra plus the limit theory that gives you calculus. This is 100% calculus. What would you rather do on a test? So a lot of people say that calculus is very difficult. What do you consider 2 pages versus 1 page? Or not even a page, but 3 lines. 2 pages, algebra, limit, or just 3 lines of calculus?
I'll take the 3 lines.
Most people, and that's what this is chapter 2. Okay, that's where we're going. All right, let's do a nerd. Let's see what they ask. The final answer to this one, because we don't do I didn't do the middle parts. F of x plus h. Let me show you what the parts are. There's f of x plus h right here. Right there. There's f of x plus h. I'm not writing all that out. I'm not typing all that out. So I'm just going to take my 3 and I'm just going to put it right there. And y'all will see that it's the same thing that you got. There it is. Okay, it's this one right here. So I need y'all to highlight this one right here. This is part of your answer in this homework question. So I'm going to take my yellow highlighter. And this is the first part of your homework question right there. They're trying to get you to set it up. That's why we've already done it so many times that's why I didn't ask for you to set it up. Okay, there's that part. And then they're going to ask probably for the answer. Okay, what's the top part? What's your numerator after you get, well, they probably won't with the h. So I'm going to say 8xh plus 4h squared plus 4h squared shift up squared minus 9h. Was that what y'all got? 9h, which is right here. Oh, I'm about to lose my mind going back and forth between things. 8xh plus 4h squared plus 9h. Now, they might not like that. They may want this one. They may want that, but I think they want this with the h's. Yep. And then what's the final answer? Now, they don't want you to do the limit theory on this one. So the final answer is 8x plus 4h, 8x plus 4h minus 9. Okay, so that's the only thing they want right there. I showed you the extra. I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone. Here is what they want for an answer. But eventually, we're going to be doing the next page also. So I'm going ahead and doing both now. All right, so there's your three answers. Okay, so let's do another question. Let's see, I don't have time, do I? What time is it? 1:14. We're done. All right, let me look at the roll right quick. Shut off the recording, see if we got anybody in here. I don't remember if I took a roll the other day